Today, referees are getting slaughtered for making the wrong choice.
The referees are going to give that every single time.
VAR's ruined a moment for me.
No football fan wants to see this.
I don't understand the big debate here.
Highlighting the mistakes of referees.
Come on, that's not a red card.
It's clear that he made a mistake.
And when you see the replay, it is so clear.
And maybe not be as honest.
This refereeing crew simply got it wrong.
Players get fouled, some get cautioned, and a few will even get sent off the pitch. But what happens if the tackle is unclear? Should officials dish out a card or keep it back in their pocket? And so today, I'm going to explain how the blue card could help referees make better decisions and elevate the sport forever. But first, what is the blue card anyways? Well, it's a card given out in small-sided games such as futsal to a player that needs to be cautioned. It's similar to getting a yellow, except it forces the player to sit off the field for 2 minutes and watch their team play down a man. This gives the opposing side a brief advantage before the player returns back onto the pitch. And if at any point the other team scores, then the player will be let back on the pitch. And just like with yellows, if someone receives a second blue card, then he or she will be sent off the pitch for the remainder of the game. This penalty is more harsh than your typical yellow, but is better than receiving a straight red. At least you'll be able to return to the field after a bit of time. Officials can use this option when faced with a decision that's more severe than a yellow, but not significant enough for a red. This addition would make players more cautious during challenges and lead to less potential injuries down the road. Yet in the full-sided game, a 2-minute penalty would probably not be significant enough in a 90-minute match. Personally, a 10 or 15-minute time block would make more sense. This concept came from the hockey power play rule and could literally change how the game gets played. Tactically, this would reshape how teams defend and make the game more interesting for fans. Momentum shifts would become more drastic, goals would get scored more often, and the game would appear less boring to your casual viewer. Like, imagine if you lost a man for a quarter of an hour with 25 minutes left in the half. Wouldn't that be crazy? In other sports like basketball, there's a rule called the 5 foul out limit, where players are only allowed up to 5 fouls a game before being cut from the court. This regulation reduces the volume of unnecessary fouls and elevates an athlete's self-awareness. In football, there's been countless superstars such as Ronaldo or Hazard that have gotten pestered throughout a game. A series of poor challenges and blatant fouls is harsh, unsportsmanlike, and simply not cool. It poses a risk to the forward and can make the match extremely toxic. If footballers had a max foul out limit, I believe this would greatly influence how they defend over the course of the game. If everyone was only allowed up to 3 or 4 fouls, maybe there would be less fresh tackles overall. And what's nice is that this idea could be reversed. For example, if Messi was fouled 5 or more times in a row, then the next person that would foul him would receive a caution, even if it was their first offense. In reality, this would decrease athlete targeting, reduce injury risk, and make the game more free-flowing. In 5-a-side games, the blue card has revolutionized how fouls are given away. EAFC used them in the Ultimate Team game mode Rush, and maybe they'll add them in the real game soon. During the 1970 World Cup, FIFA added the regulation of red and yellow cards. 50 years later, and it seems like nothing has changed. As we approach the countdown to the 2026 World Cup, it's clear there won't be any last-minute changes to the rules. However, maybe by the 2058 tournament, the board will add blue cards to the book. In school, we learned there are 3 primary colors, yet in football, there are only yellow and red, one for a warning and another for sending a man off. But maybe there should be a third option where players can return back on. At the end of the day, there is no perfect solution. It's always going to be a debate, as everyone's got an opinion. Who's to say what's right and wrong? Should there be a foul out limit? I'm not sure, but I do wonder what the future of football will look like.
Should FIFA add the blue card?
I personally don't think so.
I don't think you'll really see that much of an impact. The field's too big, there's too much time. If they were to add the blue card in the game, how long should the blue cards last?
No more than
10 minutes-ish. But then it's the whole debate of what's the point of a yellow. In my eyes, like, that blue card's worse than the yellow. Should there be a foul out limit?
No.
No, and that's kind of why we have the card system, so that players don't get reckless.
I don't think there should be a set number.
But if there was, 4 or 5.
Nevertheless, I'd love if you could answer this one question for me. Is the blue card the missing color in football? Let me know down below, and if you enjoyed watching, consider dropping a like and checking out the most recent video where we tested no arm defending.